What's up, guys? Dylan Moon here. I want to talk about One Piece Chapter 936. It was a doozy. It was a doozy. Nami's tits. Kawamatsu. Sanji being a peeping Tom. Um, let's talk about the important points of the chapter. In order for Luffy to escape the prison, he supposedly has to go through like a royale of sumo wrestling with a bunch of beast pirates, and Queen actually takes off his sea stone handcuffs, which is utterly retarded if you're in Queen's position. Um, he does have the thing. They put a thing on his neck that it'll basically decapitate you if you try to escape. Like if you get out of the arena, if you try to escape the prison, if just basically in any situation they can just decapitate you. But there's just, especially with the sea stone handcuffs off, Luffy can now use his Devil Fruit ability plus Haki, so I'm just really, 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 really trying to think of how he could die here because, I mean, couldn't he just Haki his neck? Like, wouldn't that be a simple solution? Um, Rayleigh also took one of these off in the past, so I mean, I figure this isn't gonna be much of a problem for Luffy, especially now that the Sea Stone handcuffs are off. Like, that was the big problem. This isn't gonna be much of a problem for him. Um, Kawamatsu, I feel like is going to be extremely, extremely strong. He's going to be an incredible ally, and we will actually get to see what he looks like soon. I hope that he has a really badass character design. Um, Let me think. As far as Luffy versus Queen, I think we might get it. I think that because it's just like if he goes through the battle royale of like all the sumo wrestlers and he wins all of them, like what happens then? Like he's obviously gonna beat everybody's ass there, and it's like it's not like they're just gonna let him go. Like he eventually is gonna have to fight Queen one way or the other. The only way I don't see him fighting Queen is if Raizo breaks him out of it. Like if Raizo creates a distraction and then in the chaos he gets Kawamatsu and Luffy out of there, or if Kawamatsu they get Kawamatsu out of the cell and Kawamatsu fights Queen. But we are going to see something. We're going to get a little bit more about Queen um, before the Udon jail shit is over with. Um, we go over to the bathhouse and Hawkins and X Drake actually pull up, and we find out that they do know about the tattoo somehow. We don't know how, but in this chapter we find out that they know about the crescent moon tattoo on the ankle, which is very troubling because that gives them a very easy way to track down supporters of the Kozuki clan, and I think that that will be a storyline that's played into, or else it wouldn't have been mentioned. Um, so Hawkins, basically, Drake doesn't want to go in the shower house because we find out that Drake kind of has like a weak spot for ladies too, and Hawkins goes in there. He recognizes like Nami and all the bitches and shit. Nami flashes everybody. We find out that Sanji was actually in there invisible as fuck because he passes out and just starts fucking bleeding profusely from his nose, bleeding to death, which was hilarious. A lot of people thought we were going to see some kind of character growth from Sanji where he actually wouldn't use the raid suit to peep, but we were wrong. Um, so, because Hawkins and Drake are both from North Blue, they recognize Sanji as Germa 66, as Germa 66 is Stealth Black. So some questions get raised there on what Stealth Black is like just doing randomly in a fucking shower house in the Flower Capital. Um, yeah, Zoro clashes with a bandit that has like a lot of different weapons on him, and he had Shizui taken away from him. We learned that, and let's see. So the chapter ends with them clashing, And I'm really curious on who this guy is, if Zoro can maybe get him to join our side, if he can get him to join the Straw Hat Alliance and the Kozuki clan in this, because he looks like I can never tell in One Piece, like you can never tell like who is strong and who isn't because the characters designs are so absurd. But in my opinion, this guy looks pretty badass. He looks pretty tough. So if we could get him on our side, even if he's just relatively strong, it would still be it would like we do need a lot more people. I mean, we have about 500. We need 5,000. So I think that he will join our side. I don't know how strong he's going to be. I don't know if this is going to be a really impressive fight for Zoro. It'll be more of a warm up. Um, but you never know. He might actually turn out to be an admirable opponent. That like the people of Wano, the warriors, like are very, very, very strong. We're in the New World. We're in a Yonko commander's territory. Even civilians, even bandits are very high level. It's just how if he's going to actually push Zoro or if Zoro's just going to easily take care of this guy. Because if he's really strong and then Zoro, like he can be really strong and Zoro still still deal with him easily just because just like put Zoro like way up there, put Zoro on a commander level, and then he beats this guy could be really strong and he beats his ass, which shows us a lot like an impressive feat for Zoro. But then it also shows us that this mountain bandit is like an admirable. He would be a good ally to have in the up and coming invasion. So I think it would be really, 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 really good for him to join our side and also be strong. But you never know. I do like his design. He looks pretty sick. I really hope that next chapter we get something chaotic happening in the prison. Either Luffy clashing even momentarily with Queen, getting Kawamatsu's design. I'd like for him to have a devil fruit. I hope that he's actually extremely strong. Which he is going to be extremely strong, but I hope that he is like you. I don't know. I hope that he's a badass, and I hope he has a devil fruit. And I hope that even if we can just do one chapter of like a Gear Fourth Luffy against Queen, and then Rizzo like breaks them out in the midst of it, that would be insane. If Luffy could just distract everybody long enough, like go Gear 4, fight Queen, and then while everything's going down, fucking Rizzo in the background gets Kawamatsu out. Because another interesting thing that was stated was that like the key that Rizzo has, he thinks it's for Luffy, but it might not be for Luffy because Queen just took off Luffy's Seastone handcuffs. So what if that key is coincidentally for Kawamatsu? Because the odds for that are low, but this is like One Piece. This is a manga. Like coincidences and like things where like the odds are crazy, like obviously happen all the time. So it could very, 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 very well be Kawamatsu's key. Um, yeah, guys, this was a good chapter. It had a lot. The bathhouse shit. Nami's fucking hoe ass just getting naked, just flashing fucking everybody. I enjoyed it. For a brief second, I was really hoping that we were gonna get a Drake or Hawkins against the Soba mask. That would have been fucking insane for Sanji to have fought two dinosaurs like so soon. Like I think that would have been insane if you'd had Sanji fight one of the supernovas, just to show that even though Sanji isn't on, like Sanji wasn't a supernova, but Sanji is obviously on supernova level and will eventually uh, exceed supernova level. Like he might not be, because we don't know how strong Hawkins and X Drake are particularly. But there's a good chance that Sanji is relative to a lot of the supernovas. Like I don't, he's probably not as strong as X Drake, or Hawkins. But I don't know because we haven't seen enough for them. Like Hawkins with his Devil Fruit is really useful, and I imagine he's strong as fuck. But I mean, especially with this new raid suit, and maybe at the end of Wano, Sanji will be at that level. But I definitely think that Sanji is comparable to some supernovas. Maybe not the strongest of them, but he is comparable to some of them. So I really hope that that next chapter we get either Luffy versus Queen or just something in the Because I don't want to see Luffy just fight a bunch of like sumos like in a row. It's just gonna be so boring watching him fight like lesser like people that are so weak. I really want shit to start kicking off with this with these like with the fights and stuff. Like people can start having 1v1s now. I think so at least. So I hope next chapter we get Zoro versus the Bandit in an interesting fight, not just something that's like a fucking where Zoro just easily destroys this guy and he's weak as like we just deem that dude weak as fuck. But an actual intense fight where this guy is like would be a strong ally to have, and then Zoro actually gets him to come, explains to him how he didn't like steal Shuzui. You know what I'm saying? That he didn't. It's not like he robbed the grave or anything. That he actually deserved it, and that he respects the heritage of Wano, and that he's a trained samurai. You know, this and that. And that guy actually joins the Straw Hat Alliance because we really need people. That would be really really insane. I don't know how Kaido's gonna react. I mean, Hawkins likes to take. Hawkins likes to hide a lot of shit from X-Drake. What am I saying? What the fuck did I just say? Hawkins likes to hide a lot of shit from Kaido. So he might not even tell him about Sanji. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting that vibe that Hawkins is about to jump ship anyways. I don't know about X-Drake, but I think Hawkins is at least going to jump ship. Especially because I think he let Law go at one point. You know what I'm saying? It's really seemed like he could have caught Law when he put the sea stone nail on him, but then he kind of didn't. And there has been times where he said not to report something to Kaido, that he'll take care of it himself. So I really think Hawkins is like looking at stuff that's arising and being like, this is my chance to get the fuck out of here. So that's my opinion, guys. I thought this chapter 936 was a really good chapter. I can't wait to see what next chapter brings. I really hope we start getting into the action part of this soon, because as much as I love the world building in One Piece, I think we've got a fair bit of it, and I think the old Dylan Moon deserves an arc where we just throw fists. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to be posting more videos this week.